Oh, Margaret Parr joined.
Hi, Marga. There's Nancy. Hi, Nancy.
Thank God for Nancy and Marga.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Oh, we can go now. You ready?
You think we can go now?
Yeah, we can go now.
Sure. No, how about if we do like 5 minutes of Can You Hear Me? Because that was pretty cool yesterday. When I edited that out for the YouTube, we talked that long about Can You Hear Me? Idiots. So we're at Sassy Jacks still. Be here tomorrow too.
Yep.
Yep. And we heard Claudia Dutcher talk today all morning about Bristol samplers. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
It was.
Yeah.
I mean, it was. It was two hours, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
2 hours of learning all about Bristol samplers and George Mueller, and
Was it six buildings?
had 5 buildings.
5 buildings.
And
not just little storefront buildings.
No.
Giant, multi-story, dormitory-sized buildings.
Right.
And all the money just came to them.
Yeah. They prayed for the money. They never went out to seek money. They prayed for money, and the money was always there.
Yep.
So
And they never build a building without money in the bank to pay for it.
exactly. And what did she say? There was by the end they closed in 1958, and by the time they closed in 1958, they had served 11,000 or 16,000?
I think it was 11,000 orphans.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, took them in, and kept records of all of them. And that's one of the neat things with all these Bristol Orphanage samplers is, especially in the early years, they have detailed records of all of these kids, all these girls.
Right.
Detailed records of how they got there, what their health was, when they were born, the whole shooting match. Have all that, when they were discharged, where they went, in terms of a job as a maid or
Right.
whatever it might be, and then because of that, able to track whether they got married, and then she showed a couple pictures of the girls when they were older.
Yes,
Yeah.
when they were older
Yeah.
ladies, yes. So, yeah, it was just really great. And I think that another thing that I found, because we got to actually hold in our hands, oh gosh, how many? Several. 20, you think 15, 20 samplers, Bristol samplers that's in Claudia's personal
Collection.
collection.
Yeah.
And you think that these samplers, because based on the hat sampler or any of the other samplers that have been charted, reproduced, the Bristol samplers, you think that they're huge, because when we get done finishing them, they're huge. But the girls stitched on 80 count fabric, and so they're like the size of your hand. All of those lines are just like, what was the one that Jean, 4 3/4 inches wide by 6 tall. That's how big it was.
Complete sampler.
Yeah, complete sampler.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, and amazing shape, all of them amazing
Yes.
shape. That's the part that just gets me every time, is how these things have survived 150, 200 years and are still in such good shape. But yeah, she has a nice collection. And then I didn't know, because they're known for red work, red thread on linen samplers from Bristol. That's kind of the signature look.
Right.
But then she also had some multicolored ones.
Yep.
That some of the girls that, like she said, obviously enjoyed stitching, were given the opportunity to choose a linen or whatever, and then multicolored silks, and to stitch their designs. And so she had a few of those.
Right.
And I said to Vanna when we were looking at them, it's amazing how much the silk still has a brilliant sheen to it.
yes, it did. There was one that was faded on the front, but the silk still had the sheen that silk has. And I told Gary, I go, after seeing this, I have to quit talking nasty about silk. Because it was beautiful.
Yeah.
It absolutely was beautiful.
And at that age, to hold up and have that sheen and retain the color, and
Yeah.
So that was fascinating. And then she has the pattern book. She has a pattern book that, what is that, like?
It's the size, it was like
that tall,
yeah,
three,
like 2 by 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That it's like accordion fold.
Yeah, you fold it out, and it's all the patterns that the young girls had to stitch on their samplers. So there's no 2 Bristol samplers are alike. They're all just whatever the girls wanted to stitch out of the pattern girl. Or there was boys. There was boys too.
Yeah. Somebody just asking,
oh, yeah.
is an orphanage for boys or girls? No, boys too. No, they took in orphans. What it was, you were a full orphan.
I think she said 11,603 or something is how many they served of the full orphans, which means that they did not have a mother and they did not have a father. They were both dead. And then there was partial orphans, and they served like 5,000 partial orphans in their whole less than 100 years. So, 16, 17,000 kids is how many they served in less than 100 years. And if they were a partial orphan, what the deal was, from what I gathered on the talk, was that the parents might have been going through a hard time. One of the spouses had passed from, what did she say they had passed? Cholera. They had passed from cholera. And they just needed the orphanage to watch, to care for the kids while the other parent got established, got a job, made money to put away, and then the idea was you come back and get them at some point. So
there were pretty clear rules about who they would take in. Like a full orphan, you had to have lost both parents, have no place to go, no other family member can take you in. There were very clear rules about what it was. And then if there was an opportunity for you to go back, then you went back.
Right.
And all through all those years, these kids were taken care of, and apparently they were treated like actual people.
Yeah.
Because she commented that somebody had said long ago, why would you do this for orphans? They aren't worth it. And this George Mueller and his two wives and then in later years, his daughter and her husband, who ran the place, no, they're kids. They need to be cared for. And it's neat to hear the story because, this is a good Christian family that cared about the kids and made sure they got taken care of, got food, got clothes, education, were able to get skills so they could go out and get a job.
Yeah.
And it's really a heartwarming story. And I think I put a link for the George Mueller thing that you had mentioned about on Facebook, the documentary about that, and go watch that.
And there's an biography of George Mueller, and I haven't read all of it, but I read partial, and he wasn't a good man. He was kind of a wild hare when he was younger.
Yeah.
And he had a come to Jesus or a revelation in his young adulthood, and he turned into the most devoutly Christian man. And all these kids were, raised because, just because. Yes, there are books on the Bristol Orphanage. Yes, there is. Well, she's 65. There are books. There's books on George Mueller. If you just Google both of those, you can. And the Mueller Orphanage Trust has a lot of information, and that's all online. So,
right. And there's a website. Is it Bristol Orphanage?
BristolSamplers.com that Claudia maintains, and it has pictures of everything that we saw today on that website.
Yeah. There's a lot of information, and Claudia showed several pictures of the documents, the actual ledger entries for each of these kids, so you can actually read what it says about them.
Yeah.
And one of the things at the end of most of them was it converted?
Yeah, converted or not converted.
Yeah. So whether they were Christian or not.
Yeah.
And some were not. Not converted, but.
And they didn't think anything less of them. They just would make document of that. So.
Yeah. So you would know if they were a Christian
or not.
Yeah. But it was just fascinating, and now you've read a lot about it, because you're addicted to them, and now I'm going to go learn more because it's one of those great human interest stories, and kids who have nothing.
Yeah.
And that was interesting. They would note if one of the orphans came to the orphanage with any property, that was noted because most of them didn't have anything. And
they said that they sold a lot of times because the kids didn't care if their items were sold, and so a lot of times they would sell their items that they came with in support of the orphanage. And they also made small little paper things. I talked about that yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
And they would sell those small pin cushions, and they would sell those in support of the orphanage. But yeah, just a fabulous 2 hours that went really, really quick. This morning we had a great time.
Yeah. Now this afternoon, Claudia's doing another of the same session for people who either want to hear it again or weren't able to come in the morning or decided to sleep in, whatever
Right.
it was. But yeah, it was very good. And yes, Welshie, need to go buy a sampler.
Yeah. Or a pattern to do it.
Well, and that was something that Vanna has an idea that actually I'm kind of thinking seriously about.
He's thinking about it. I told him about it yesterday, and
She's
he's been
trouble. She's
yeah,
trouble.
I am trouble. Okay, so Kim has beautiful banding here. Lots of them. Lots of different colors, lots of different widths and lengths and edging. They all have a.
Well, here,
an
I'm gonna
edging.
go get a Bristol sampler chart. Hold on to that. Tell them about that.
So this banding is like, I've never seen this much banding in one store ever. And what my idea is that I have, like, I think all of Claudia's samplers, and I have all of Hat's Orphanage Bristol samplers, and I have all of Scarlet Letter's Bristol samplers. Don't tell Gary. He already gets mad that I have too much. Not mad, but he makes fun of me. So anyways, so I have all these samplers, right?
Yeah. So this is when she's talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you go ahead.
So my idea is that I'm going to get this banding.
Just a minute.
Okay. I'm going to get this banding, right? And I want to stitch the marking pieces on these different samplers, from all the samplers that I have on this banding. Hi, Renee. See? So like take one of these lines, stitch it on the banding. Then the next night take another line, stitch that line, put it on the banding. And you can do that like over a year or something, and then you roll it up and put it on a wooden textile spool. How cool is that idea? So cool that Gary's going to do it too.
I wasn't even going to buy a Bristol Orphanage sampler, but now, because it's neat. Because look at, these are beautiful.
Yeah.
These are just beautiful, and Kim's got a ton of them.
Yeah, she does. So you need some banding, give Kim a call at Sassy Jacks.
Yeah. So, and actually, any of these Bristol Orphanage, any of these samplers will give you just need one to do that.
Yeah.
Because there's so many patterns on there to choose from, and most of them have pretty much the same patterns.
Oh, look. Well, she has a good idea. You need to do a Sal doing that. Okay,
Yeah.
everybody start calling Sassy Jacks. We'll get one set up.
Because we need another.
Yeah,
we need another
we
Sal.
need another
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, because we're bored out of our minds. Yes. So I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. But now we got to find a source for the spools.
I think I have some.
Vada has a source for the spools.
I think I
right.
actually have one or two.
Okay, so that's pretty neat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
awesome.
It's almost like you have a knack or experience finishing things.
You would think.
You'd think. I mean, these come to you, and
Just like, inspiration.
is that what that was?
That's what it is.
Okay. All right. When does the sap start?
The sap starts flowing
usually in the
in
spring.
March, yeah.
Usually in the spring from the maple trees. Yeah, that's when it.
It's
corrected.
a Sal, yeah.
Oh, not gonna use
That's
the.
the girls gone wild. That's the moms gone wild.
Oh,
HC
okay.
Golden and
Okay.
Renee.
Okay.
Those are my buddies.
Going to use the autocorrect excuse. Yeah, she really cared about maple syrup. That's all she was really interested in.
Usually about March that starts going.
Yeah, that's all. All right, the Sal. I don't know when we're going to do the Sal.
I'm going to buy banding, but
Yeah.
who knows when that's going to
Yeah,
start.
and Margaret's watching this. We're going right now, going,
Like,
oh, jeez.
Fauna, shut your mouth.
Yeah, which Keith would be doing if he was watching
Yeah,
too.
but he's not watching,
He's
so
just
we don't-
he's smart. He just doesn't even bother. So, Mom's going wild again next month. Oh, that's your Troublemaker group.
Yeah.
Oh, we got to do a show with your Troublemaker group.
They would love to do a
I think
show with
I think that would be good. All right, Renee, be careful, Renee.
And Christy's HC
yeah.
Gold.
So you be careful because the other day, Ellie asked about doing a podcast, and now she's deep in the middle of a new podcast. So be careful, Renee. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh, shoot.
Yep. So, I am obsessed with coming out of here this weekend.
They want to know about Agnus Day. We're going to talk about Agnus Day right now.
I'm obsessed with coming out, leaving this place with a solution for Agnus Day. Okay?
Yeah.
So we're talking about the purple. I didn't like any of those. You didn't think they weren't what I wanted.
I didn't like them.
So we were talking about that, and then I thought overnight, wait a minute, what if I flip it around? because Vanna had pulled this off of, this is Sulky Petites, Royal Purple. Vanna had pulled that out for whatever we were doing yesterday, and then I thought, what if I do the opposite? What if I do white linen, pure white linen with purple?
Yeah, get it up closer so they can see.
See, and I'm thinking that's the solution right
Isn't
there.
that good? Don't you think that'd be awesome?
Yeah.
That royal purple on white. Oh, that'd be so awesome.
Yeah.
Beth, tell him it would be awesome. He needs to buy that.
Beth, do a talk with more troublemakers. Yeah, be careful, Beth. You'll be on next.
Chrissy says she likes that idea.
Yeah. So.
Love it, Gary. Yes.
Oh, hi,
Thanks,
Jacob. Hi, Jacob. So yeah, I'm thinking that's the way I'm going now.
Yeah.
Because this is 46 count linen here.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm thinking
See, look,
that.
Cross and Stitches says that's perfect. See, you know what?
Yep.
Vanna to the rescue again.
And so humble about it. It's just absolutely humble.
That's right.
So I think that's where we're headed. With that. Yep. But now I got to see if this thread is probably too heavy for the deal. If I do 46 count.
Yeah, 46 count will be too heavy.
Too heavy. Yeah.
But we can find you a silk.
Margaret, no, we did not discuss the spending limit, Margaret. We discussed spending, period, but not a limit.
Not a limit.
No, there was no limit mentioned. Beth says I'm not a troublemaker. Yeah, that's some famous last words there. Yeah, seen that movie. Yeah, did you buy any books? No. Not unless you're counting charts as books. No,
right.
There's been no books purchased. No.
No. Not
Innocent
at all.
there. The bag. Vanna's been putting both of our stuff in the bag. I got a feeling in one bag. I got a feeling that the proportion of purchases is going to be a little heavy on this side.
No.
Fairly light on this side.
I bought
don't even try because we
I
already
bought
know.
a yard and a half of fabric.
Yeah. That was before I even got to the store this morning. She bought a yard and a half of fabric. Yeah.
I did. I had it out. I had the whole store to myself, and I bought a yard and a half.
Yeah.
Well, I to be bought soon.
Keith will never bring her over here early again.
Nope.
Yeah. Yep. So, Yvette, go. No spending limits. Yeah, there we go. I like Yvette. I always have liked Yvette. She's all right. So I guess that's it so far today.
Now.
Yeah. We did a tour of the shop. People have asked for a tour of the shop. We did that this morning. It's a large file, and so I'll try and get it posted. There you go, Pat. You can never have enough stitching supplies. Right. Exactly. Get that posted, so a tour of the store, and then we have some other videos that we're going to do. We'll do a video with Nicola about that one that's going to be the second sampler for next May. And somebody wrote to me this morning, or wrote this morning somewhere, about how do you get in these classes because they fill up. And the advice I gave is for Sassy Jacks and for the attic, and the attic is you got to scramble. But get on their newsletters. Forget the website. Get on the newsletter list because that's where you're going to get the information and know when the registration is open and can go. Because now this one that in next May, and we'll be here for that, that Nicola is doing with 2 samplers, you're going to want to act quick because that'll fill up because that was full last time. And Kim has 70 people up there, but boy, that's...
Yeah, it won't be that way for Nicola's.
No, that's and that's a max for the room.
Yeah.
So, but get on the newsletters. Go to Sassy Jacks and sign up for the newsletter. Then you get the information immediately, and you don't find out after half the registration's gone. But then you got to act quick. I mean, you just simply have to.
Yeah, and I think that also, if you're on Facebook, join the Sassy Jacks Facebook group too, because she usually says early.
Yeah.
I'm going to post this on the newsletter. So if you're on Facebook at all, join that too. I think.
Right. No, that's a good point because she lately she's been saying at such a time I'm going to announce it.
Right.
And then you know. And did we eat cookies last night? Really, Nancy? Really, you're asking that question?
Has anybody said anything about the cookies? I don't. Well, you posted. You and Margaret posted.
I posted. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, people are having no trouble eating the cookies.
Is there room for one in May? We don't know.
We don't know. I don't think registration is available yet, Beth.
Is it not, or did she open it already?
I don't know.
I think it's opened. Beth, call. You need to call today if you want to get in.
Listen for the phone.
Yeah. Ring. No.
No, I really don't know.
I would call. Because we don't know, but I think that she did open I think it has been open. And if it, get on the waiting list. Call if you want to get
Yeah.
on. If you want to come, call and get on the waiting
Yeah,
list.
definitely got on the list. And last year there were 3 sessions. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There were 3 sessions. I don't know if they're going to do 3 or not this year.
Aren't they doing like a third day they're doing 3 days,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, it was. Yeah, you just gotta go look. Of course, if we were professional, we would have that all in a script right in front of us on a teleprompter, but we don't.
How much banding are you going to buy for your sampler? Okay, well, I'm going to tell you
15
about this.
feet.
What I'm going to do is that we learned also today that in the Bristol Sampler Workshop that the girls actually hemmed the edges of their linen or whatever they were stitching. I think they were mainly bed sheets, don't you? That they were
Sure looked like it, yeah.
bed sheets.
Yeah.
And so they hemmed the edges all the way around, and then they started just stitching. So that's what, I'm not going to hem a bed sheet, but I've got an item here, and I'm going to probably get 2 yards of this banding, and I'm just going to start stitching. And when I think it's long enough, then I'll stop, and then I might do another one, or I will do another one. That's how I'm going to do it. I'm just going to act like I'm a Bristol schoolgirl and do it that way. A Bristol orphan. That's what I'm going to act like on banding. So.
Oh, just in the stitching regard, not
Yes.
not other behavior.
No.
No. Okay.
No, I'm not going to be a maid or a servant or anything.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're going to maintain your usual decorum.
Yes.
With
Dignity.
the exception,
Right. Yeah.
of the stitching.
Yes.
And that's when things just go all to
Right. 80
count,
yeah.
Jacob. Yeah, sure. 80 count, Jacob.
Oh, and this another thing is these are 20. Like there's different counts of these. I think this one is 28 count, and so you want to stitch over 1. Did I say that? I didn't say I'm doing that. I'm stitching mine over 1, so it'll be more dainty. So.
But Jacob, that I don't know if Jacob was kidding around or what.
That
but,
is true. Yeah,
but
80 count.
a lot of that Bristol Orphanage is on 70, 80 count. How they did that, I have no idea without lights and magnifiers, because that'd be candlelight or daylight. I don't know.
And you could definitely see in the different samplers that we saw that there was some girls that really loved stitching and really cared about how they stitched, and then there were some girls that didn't give a crap about it.
You could tell on that backside, whatever.
Let's just get this thing whipped out so I can get out of here.
Drag that thread this far. I'm starting over here. I don't care. Yeah. Teacher made me do it. It was pretty funny.
Oh shoot!
Jacob's doing an 80 count challenge. Yeah. 80 a challenge is inherent in 80 count, Jacob. That's inherent. Okay, now we got to check out Modern Folk Embroidery. Go to Modern Folk Embroidery for that challenge. How many Reproduction Bristol samplers are there?
Okay,
Holy smokes.
There's 2 from that I know of. There's 2 from Hands Across the Sea samplers, Louisa Coulimore and Harriet Salt, and currently Nicola's reproducing a 3rd one that's not released yet, but she's in the process of stitching it. And then there are 2 that I know of from Scarlet Letter, which is M.A. Tipper, and M.A. Tipper's one, and I don't know what the other name is, but there's 2 of them. And then Claudia has a new one coming out, which is the M.H. Bristol sampler. It's out. It'll be out soon. It was released here this weekend.
Yeah, next week, I think.
And we got it. We both got one. And then she has Emma Stanford, which is one that's been out for a while, and that's also by Dutch Treat Designs, Claudia's design house. And she has another one. I can't remember what the name is, but she has another one. And I think that there's a lady in France that you can get on her website somehow. And if you Google like Bristol samplers, you'll see, and it has an elephant in the middle of it. And you can somehow get it from her. So, but if you go to bristolsamplers.com, Claudia has all of the samplers that are reproduced and available for people to get on that website.
Yeah.
So, Louisa Coulimore is out of print. And there is none to be had. You're just going to have to find.
You need a good friend.
Yeah.
You need a really good friend, yeah.
So.
Yeah. And Bonna's not sharing hers because she's not done with it.
I'm not done yet. No, they do not have specialty stitches, and they're not over 1 or anything like that.
Yeah, no, it's just straight cross stitch.
Right.
And other than the handful of multicolors which have not been reproduced, they're all single color.
Right.
All done in red.
Right. We do have one that is multicolor that was in our Hello Pack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have those, but that's not for it's not released to the.
Right. No,
Public.
all of them that are available to everyone are single color.
Right.
But that's fun. You look at the reds that are available. What's your favorite one?
Schoolhouse Red
Yeah.
from Gloriana.
Yeah. Oh, that's a silk. Mm-hmm. Oh, you stitch with silk?
Yeah.
Oh, my. My.
I know.
Wow. That's what we got, I think.
I think that's it.
Yeah. So we'll try and get more posted later today. It's just been slow going here at the store because we got 70 people here using the internet in one form or another, and so I'll do the best I can.
Yeah.
But we have Jean Lee, a little bit from Jean Lee tonight, and Claudia and Nicola. Yeah, we got some lined up.
And we're going to get some people sharing their work with us too.
Yep.
So.
We have big plans.
Yeah, we do.
Now we have to execute them.
Execute it, right.
All right. Silk is out of my league. Well, she know it isn't.
No.
No. Single color silk, go nuts.
Yeah.
You can do it. Mm-hmm. And it's fun.
Right.
Even Vanna's coming around.
Yeah. I am a little bit.
You're pathetic.
Yeah.
We're out. Bye.
Bye.